The definition of ability: a talent, skill, or proficiency in a particular area. accountHERability: the journey to success is never easy. These women come to share their story to inspire, motivate, and encourage you to focus, believe, and tap into your God-given abilities, and you too will succeed. Welcome to the accountHERability Show, hosted by Trey Kearney. Today I have a wonderful guest. Her name is Lucinda Cross. She is the president of Activate Worldwide LLC, known as the Chief Activator, the voice of this generation. She is a TEDx speaker and accomplished best-selling author, recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award from former President Barack Obama. She is a highly sought-after international speaker and a lifestyle business coach. Lucinda's story is compelling. It's one of triumph and overcoming odds to regain her rightful place in life. And she's the creator of The Big Ask. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. No pun intended. But Lucinda has taught us a lot about asking for what it is that you need and not being afraid of a no. So Lucinda, hi.
Okay, I'm here.
You see, I got my Activate cup with my coffee.
Yes, you do. That's the original. That's the original.
Right, because we're original players. They don't know. This is my sister right here. Like, this is my real sister. Like, this is going to be a real candid conversation. And this is not about her being a boss or a diva or none. This is going to be very personal and intimate for us, because I know there's a lot of platforms where we're talking about women in business, and we're going to talk about how you got there. So the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about how you grew up, where you came from, talk a little bit about your parents, your relationship with your mother and your father.
So I grew up in the Bronx, two amazing parents, raised by an amazing stepfather. He's my dad. But what was crazy with even my upbringing, my mother's very dominant, and she was like the man of the house, so to speak. And so it was very female dominated, although there was a male presence there. Extremely supported. I was the oldest of four, the only girl. Well, I am the oldest of four, I am the oldest of four, the only girl. And so, for me, that was, I'm first, but I'm still considered the last. I'm the second mom in the house. And so pretty much had responsibilities since I was the age of like 10, 11. I had two little kids, my two little brothers, that I had to help my mother raise as she finished her education.
Wow. See, I never, we don't know. And for me, having conversations to get the human experience like I do with my men, it's all about where you came from in your blueprint, and not changing your DNA, but changing sometimes your environment.
Exactly.
So I know a lot about you, but a lot of people don't. And I always want to honor you, because you are one of few women that give me an opportunity on your platform. Because a lot of women can be intimidated by other women, or a lot of women don't want to share their platform because maybe somebody gonna get what I'm supposed to get. But you're one of the women in my life who has always made an opportunity for me, who has invited me to speak on panels with men, who has invited me places, Howard, and different places where I never thought I would speak or get the opportunity to. So I honor you, and I thank you for that. And I thank you for what you do for so many women, because you see people's gifts. And I don't know if you even know that, but you speak on people's gifts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know what it's like. So I know what it's like having gifts and talents, and just, God just giving you an assignment, and then nobody wanting to open up the door because you just shine a little bit too bright for them. And so I know, and some people don't understand it, and that's okay. But when I see it, I'm like, no, why doesn't the world know about her? And so that's what I see. And, it is the women supporting women, but it's by actions and not by words. And that's what I love about what you do as well. You have no problem with getting on the front of the stage, kicking off your heels, and, putting in the grunt work on the back of the stage, and so it's about the actions, not the women supporting women. It's something that I'm not rooting from the mountaintop. I want it to be part of my DNA.
Right. And it is. And I love you. And I talk to so many women that know you, and like, Lucinda gave me an opportunity. Lucinda gave me too. So this is why I love that. So let's talk about something that happened to you that I haven't heard this story in a long time, because sometimes people say, why you keep talking about your past? Why you keep talking about your past? People tell me that all the time. Why you keep talking about adultery? Why you keep talking about you cheated? Because it's my testimony and it's helping the women that I want to help. So we know that you went to prison. So I want you to just tell that story a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And people say that too, like, you still telling that story, Lucinda? Absolutely. Because women, I mean, we basically incarcerated now. If you look at it, we talked about that before the screen. But, in my younger years, 18, 19 years old, just trying to be the dominant one in the household and feeling like I needed to do something to support my family, and also selfishly to say, I need to get some money for myself. I'm in this little Kim phase, get money, grab a seat, I'm singing all them songs. 96 was hot, and so for me, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't Lil Kim, but no, on the real, I just made some decisions based on a shift. So although I was raised in the projects in the Bronx, it was an environment of community. It was an environment of violence, an environment of gangs. It was an environment of community, but being pulled from there, going to college and not understanding my surroundings. So although my environment shifted, my mindset didn't. And so I still had this small community mindset. This is what we do. This is just enough that we have, and just living in the land of just enough. And I didn't know that more than enough was an opportunity. And so when I was placed in a different environment with the old mindset, I said, oh, I don't even belong here. These people are driving to school. These people are swiping their cards for lunch. Here I am. I got a food stamp card, the food stamps from my mom. This is looking foreign. I don't belong here. Or what do I need to do to look like I belong here? And of course, lo and behold, as you speak it, with that, and that's why I tell people, stay away from fear and low self-esteem, because everything is a huge magnet. And everything around you will bring what you don't need to seem like an opportunity for success when it's really for failure. And so my opportunity came, and they said, listen, do you want to travel here? You can make this amount of money. I said, what? How does this work? You just pick one thing up here, drop it, pick a bag here, drop a bag there. What they saying, secure the bag? I was really securing the bag. And so, not realizing that even I was a part of something greater. And that's even a lesson in itself, because I was a part of a whole case that was under investigation for 3+ years. And I'm the only American, the only 18, 19-year-old on this case from New York. And so that, and everybody else is in Thailand, Cambodia, Africa, Mexico. But here I am, not realizing my one yes, because of low self-esteem and because I wanted to speed up success and be a lookalike, I was connected to a whole stream of just mess. And that's why we got to be careful with the decisions that we make in the low self-esteem and fear moments, because we can affect so many different people and maybe a part of so many different things that just take us down. And that's what happened to me. So here I am in front of a judge in Chicago, where the case was from. And, this judge was like, give her 10 years. She's smart. She could hop on a plane, her first time getting on the plane, and she's going to Thailand, her first trip. Yeah, she could do 10 years. And I'm like, what? And so, by the grace of God, it went down to 5, then it went down to 4.5. And by the time I was sentenced, because we had like 65 co-defendants, 28 of us was indicted, all females, that part. And all the males were free. All the males were free. And, just, so I had to go through that journey by being naive to say yes, trying to speed up success, and fearful of changing my mindset in a new environment for growth. I was going to be an entertainment lawyer. I didn't know I would need a lawyer after my first semester.
Wow. And how long were you in jail?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. See, I don't know if people know, because people see your glory, right? And they don't know your story. They look like, oh, look, she doing this, and she an international speaker, and everybody keep giving her opportunities. And they don't know that along the way, this took some resilience. So when you were in jail, you got into vision boards. Now,
Yes.
how in the world somebody serving 4 years federal, right?
Federal prison.
Federal prison. Now let's not cookie cut and say, oh, she was just in jail. No, she was in federal prison. I don't know. I ain't built for that. I'm sorry. Maybe, when you don't know.
No.
And I be into the vision boards. I be in there acting up like they got me in solitary because the girl is scared. So why did you focus on vision?
That's something that, the word says, train up a child, right? And so that's something. My mother was going to school to be she was a psychology major, and I was like her guinea pig for her assignments. I helped read her papers. I helped type some of them at times. And, she would use that creative visualization with me. So that self-improvement and stuff that started at such a young age. I mean, I'm reading books about how to shift your mindset in places and how to learn how to overcome grief. And I'm like 13, and so one thing that she used to have me do, with me and my brothers do, was create these creative visualization journals and boards and posters, not realizing they were called vision boards many years down the line. And so inside there was 3 programs. You sign up to be a cosmetologist, but that program was just basically overcrowded. You do horticulture. I'm in New York. What am I going to grow? Okay. At that time, New York wasn't into green. It was just the concrete jungle. So I'm like, okay. And then the other one was parenting, and I didn't have any children. So I said, you know what can I do here to get my mind off of this time? And it was sitting down on the compound in the sun, because I served my time in Texas, sitting down in the sun, and let me just, you didn't have glue and stuff. So you use toothpaste, right? Toothpaste and little clippings from the magazine to put on a board, because they don't give you tape, you don't get glue. And so you don't get sit. So, I'm creating my vision board there on what I wanted to do when I got out. Start a business, open up a creative school, and I had all of these things on my vision board. And I wanted to see what I could do there to feel free, even in a locked up space. And as I'm working on it, women are like, what's going on? What's Half Pint doing? What's Little New York doing? And, now more women are coming, and more women are coming, and more women are coming. So it's like 10, 20, before you know, we're all just sitting there talking about our visions in such a hopeless place. And that's where the purpose was born.
Wow, man, you said you had the glue with toothpaste. See?
Glue with toothpaste.
Don't nobody know this stuff. We think y'all, we think the women in there kind of sort of chilling, because we see stuff on TV. We don't know about the inside. So what kept you going? Because I told you one of the most resilient people that I know. Mm-hmm. In those dark moments, what kept you going inside?
It was my search for self and my search for God. And just trying to see if he could even meet me here in this space. And what does that look like? And I'm not going to lie, I went from reading the Quran to the Torah to becoming a meditation yogi. I'm spending hours meditating till I see the light and I feel like I'm floating, and then it all came back to full circle. So I just studied so many different things, from African religion, you name it. I was just studying so much. But that is what kept me up, the yearning for freedom. I wanted to see it. Can I challenge myself? Can I find a way to still be free here? Can I connect with God still here? Does he still hear me in this space? And I just didn't want to be one of those prison stories where, you find God because you're in prison. That's why I went on this spiritual journey while I was there to figure out, okay, what can I take from each piece to help me? Meditation, I may not be a yogi with an orange suit on in the mountains, but it taught me to have a sound mind, to quiet my mind when things are going on around me. It's a lot of abuse that goes on inside. It's a lot of people, authorities who take advantage. And I mean, I'm young, by the grace of God, I didn't have to fight. I wasn't, certain things didn't happen to me, but certain things did, and it was the spiritual journey that kept me up, to be honest with you. And I told God, I said, if you just keep my mind in this process,
Mm.
If you keep my mind in this process, I will not forsake you. You know, I will not turn my back on you. I will not give up. I will just keep pushing forward. Just please keep my mind. I don't want to lose it.
Wow.
Because women are losing it. They were losing it every day,
Right.
breaking down every day. You see that they do the medicine call. You see these women lining up to get their meds. And I was like, I can't do it.
No.
I can't, I don't want to be like that.
If you don't know Lucinda, you need to follow, friend, and like her if you want to elevate in life. And right now we're talking about human experiences. This woman is a boss. Trust me. She is an international speaker, flies around in and out of the country, like more than you could ever imagine. But there's something inside of her that we need to see right now, other than what she's done as a business boss, diva, and all these other titles we're getting. So now you're out and you have a record. And okay, I'm like, okay, nobody's gonna hire me. So let me find a way to be Lil' Kim again, right? And listen, we hustle, bustle, we do this stuff. What kept you from going back to the streets? Because it's easy to go there and say, let me make a phone call, because I'm not about to go this long route of doing the right thing when I really made one mistake and they threw me in a jail. They made an example out of me. What kept you from saying, you know, F the system, let me do this. Let me show them how this is done.
And it is easy. It is so easy when you come from this place that they want to call rehabilitation, they're rehabilitating you inside. You are surrounded by the greatest criminals.
Right.
The greatest minds, the greatest visionaries, the biggest dreamers, those who have had it, you know? And so, and those who've married, those who've had it. And so, you know, it's either you come out to be a greater citizen or a greater criminal. Right. And it's a very thin line, because it's so one is a little bit easier than the other. It's easy to say, all right, let's go get this bag again, but in a different way. For me, I had enough. That was enough. That scared the living daylights out of me. And one of the reasons why is because my first encounter, when I was extradited from New York to Chicago, I had to spend like close to 9 months in solitary confinement because I had so many co-defendants upstairs in general population. And so in solitary confinement, I had to get a judge to approve for me to come out of solitary confinement, because it's safe for me to go upstairs, because I'm there, I'm not in any harm. I didn't know any of my co-defendants at all. And so it wasn't a violent case.
Right.
But it took time for that stuff to get approved. And then we had the Judge Hangman, who thought I was, you know, who's this city slicker coming over here, you know. And so just 9 months in SEG was enough for me.
Right.
And so that experience out of the whole prison time that I spent was enough for me to say I had my taste. That's it. You know, and I don't like I don't like authority, period. Don't tell me what don't tell me what to do, where to go, how to do it. Like, I want all freedom. And so education was key for me. I had my vision board that I was extremely excited about. I wanted to see how I could bring that to fruition. I had my mindset. I didn't have that institutional, and I was so strategic on making sure that I didn't have that institutional stench on me. Like, oh, you could tell she been in jail. You know, I wanted to get back to me, and I wanted to embrace now my 20s. I went in as a teen. Now my 20s, I wanted to kind of grab some of my time back. And that's what I focused on. I said, no, let's see how far we could go and prove the system wrong. They don't want you to get housing. They don't want to pay for you to get an education. They're not going to help you get a job. They have this box that you have to check, so you're already counted out. And that was just enough frustration and fuel for me to say, I'm going for it. You know, if there is a God, why am I going to back down now? I'm maxing this card out. You know, and that was my mentality. Like, God, I'm maxing this out. So let's make this work.
Why do you went from, I'm not doing that, I'm going here. Why do you think that there are repeat offenders who keep going back to jail?
So, and that's what I didn't share. So your environment, coming back to the same type of environment. So coming back to a halfway house where you're in a neighborhood that's still drug ridden, and it's still a lot of crime in that area. They don't put you in a place that you feel of hope. As soon as you come out, you go straight to either the place and the people that you left, or you in this halfway house that still provides no rehabilitation and support for growth. And so it's literally up to you. A lot of people don't have the mental strength to build themselves up. I signed myself within that first month. I went and got a job. I signed myself up for college. Like, I was not playing any games, because I said, no, I see how they send people back quick. I'm not trying to go back. That rate, that cycle is, the recidivism rate of coming in and out is greater for women than it is for men. And so I said, no, and I do think that people go back. There's that repeat cycle, because there is no one, first of all, the mental strength, and not even having a plan and a vision of what you're going to do when you get out. So you just want to tell the authorities the right thing so that they can feel comfortable with letting you out. But you really don't have a plan.
That is so good, because, we want to know, why do we keep having repeat offenders? And people make up all these stories, and I don't think anybody's really bad. I don't think no person is bad. I just think people have certain situations and backgrounds. And like you said, your mom taught you vision boards and things of that nature. I just think people come from bad circumstances and don't know how to get out of it.
But how many people are repeat offenders? You keep going back into poverty, you're a repeat offender.
Right.
Why you don't have the mental stability to get financial support and saving? You keep going back to that bad relationship, you're a repeat offender. So incarceration is just one thing. Prison is just one thing that's held by a greater authority. But what happens when you create spiritual crimes?
Right.
My God, the ones that you don't even see.
Wait.
So you stop
the mic in the middle of something. I'm just trying to get the people right here, because we talk a lot about making money, but there's a way to be wealthy in your mind, body, and spirit. And the money comes along with being authentic and having integrity. And the one thing that I've learned about you, or you stay authentic, you have integrity, and though you've climbed the ladder of success to a level that many people are trying to get to, you've never changed who you are. And I want to understand why, because people get to a certain level when they leave everything behind. They say, I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing, that's their problem, not mine. Why was it important for you? One, because you started We Nation for women who are coming back into society.
Yes.
And you always start programs like Activate, the Big Ask. Why is it so important for you to give back to people where you could just go speak, write your books, and make your money and secure the bag? Why is it inside of you as a human to want to continue to serve?
And that's good. That's a good question. It's a part of me. I don't know any other way. Right. I don't know any other way. And when you've been hurt by that, like, my greatest hurt came from women not supporting me. My greatest hurt came from women putting the blinders and covering me. My greatest hurt came from women trying to just covet the things that I have. And I'm like, man, I just literally, this ain't even nothing. Like, you trying to steal, kill, and destroy just a little bit that I just got. Wow. So my greatest hurt came from the people that I have a dire need to support and help with a pure heart, And so with all of the knives that I have had in my back, all of the traps that have been laid for me. I mean, and we all can say that, right? I've literally had tables prepared for me where it was just to shut me down, and by people that I loved and trusted, and women that I loved and trusted. So it is my duty to show something different. What can I do to show the difference? Because I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like for someone to hold on to a resource, or, hold on to access to something, and they feel like they control your level of success. Well, I'm going to give her just enough, but I'm not going to give her all of it, because I don't want her to get too big, right? Like, as if it's up to them. And so, for me, it's, why not? People say, well, you just giving too much, you just doing too much, but why not? If I hold back then somebody else is going to hold back from me. And I've had enough held backs,
Oh,
right? And I need God to give me all the stuff that has my name on it. And I don't need to be looking at what's attached to your name and what's attached to your name. So if I have access to it, you got it. Just my thing is just come correct and do right.
wow. So you wear a crown.
Always handy.
See? I don't know what. This ain't even planned. Right?
This ain't even planned.
Crown sitting right there. Why is that crown right there?
Listen, girl, I have three sitting right here, depending on how I feel. But just as a reminder, keep your crown on. You know, just keep your crown on. You got this. Keep your mind right. Stay focused. And this is the thing that brings me joy when I see these crowns. You know, it represents so much to me because, listen, I know what shackles and cuffs feel like. You know, and I know what those cold chains on your ankles feel like. So if I can replace that with this mindset of me as this woman now, to say those shackles and cuffs brought me a whole crown, from cuffs to crowns.
From cuffs to crowns. Is that a book? Did you?
Hold on. That's a book.
Feel like, because she about to copy and trademark that as soon as she get off here.
Absolutely.
She trademark stuff. So
we sure do.
Crowns. Come on now. Stop. You play too. That's what you do. So you have activate, big ask. So I know when you came out of prison, and I know along your journey it was tough, and I know you have a wonderful mentor, and we can talk about him if you want to. But what was your biggest ask, and who did you ask?
My biggest ask, I would say, would be my mentor. And I said, can you help me with my business ideas? You know, I'm acting like I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Wow.
You know, and I had to be honest because, you know, by this time I'm like, I'm a Miss Know-It-All. I did time. What somebody's going to tell me. I went back to school. I got my degree. I got a job. You know, I know everything. I've read enough books, you know, but I had to completely take that whole ego and pride down and say, listen, I need help because I have absolutely no clue with what I'm doing. And I want to be successful. I want to build something great. And I seen that that's something that he was doing with his life. You know, he was happily married, raising his daughter. You know, his wife is amazing. She's a chief ER doctor, you know, so I seen success and I said, I want a taste of it the right way.
I love you so much, Lucinda, because like I said, I don't meet very many authentic people that I go on a journey with, because we've known each other probably 7 years, 8 years. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I found a picture of you and your mentor and me from way back when.
What?
Yeah, from way, way, way back when. I'm like, that's
wow.
Like, you know, God will bring things full circle. You know, queens run in the same, you know, court. So,
woo!
You know we do.
Run in the same court?
Yeah,
that's powerful.
And stuff, because we know we trust each other and we trust ourselves, and we're not afraid, like you said, to advance another queen. See, there's some jokers out here that's pretending to be queens, but we won't talk about them right now because that's not what this is about. So to the women that are listening, first I want you to talk a little bit about We Nation before we go any further, because our time is, we're going to go a little further if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so talk a little bit about We Nation, because that's important.
Listen, I'm enjoying this, because after this I have to become like a 4th grade teacher, so we could stay right here. I don't even want to wake nobody up. I'm that type of mom.
I'm about to be a special ed teacher at 10:30. So
yeah, I'm like, listen, okay, I don't even feel like reading anything. So this is good. I'm having grown talk. This is grown folk conversation.
We're incarcerated.
We're incarcerated.
People don't understand, talking about We Nation and the women inside. For the first time, and we were talking earlier before we came on, like, we in jail. We get to go out for sunlight. We get to go out for essentials. And then we got to come back in our cell. And I'm not saying our home is a cell.
Right.
Just the idea of what lockdown feels like. And I don't like it. Like, I don't like this.
People are losing it. People are losing their minds because you get a little bit of time to go out there and get your essentials. Hurry up, get back on. You know, you can't fraternize with people. Don't touch. You know, so it's yeah. So if they and I put a post out there. I said, you know, for all you youth out there and teens, if you are having a problem with quarantine, don't commit any crime. Keep your name completely clear. If you have a problem with the way things are going now, don't even think about crime. Not a credit card scam, not a drug deal. Don't even smoke weed on the wrong corner. Don't take a piss around nobody's building. Don't do nothing.
Right, because this is the soft version of it.
This is paradise. You ain't seen nothing yet. How about fighting for some corny food that you know? So okay, so let's get back to the point. You know, you said something. You said the queens and the jokers, right? And then I'm gonna go to your question. But you know what's crazy? I can't tell you how many queens I met that wanted to act like jokers.
Oh,
right. And then we allow the jokers to show up as queens. And the difference is, you know, it's a huge difference. One who has no clue on who he or she, because we talking king, queen, period, just the crown, you know, who he or she is. And then they're just, it's just it's difference between ignorance and just gratitude, living in a space of gratitude. But there's queens who believe that they don't belong and deserve. And so they rather stay in the joker lane, and it's a hard battle. And it's an inner fight that happens. And then, you know, it can change your character, your personality, how you show up. And you wonder why year after year, things still look the same. Ooh. Maybe because we're playing the joker card and not pulling out the queen, right? And it's vice versa. You know, these jokers is winning. There's people that we all know that we're like, how did they get, because these jokers are playing up the queen card. Ooh. And, you know, and a lot of queens are sitting back. Queen sitting back, you know, so I'm looking like, well, why are you in the field?
Right.
Well, what are you doing? Right? And so anyway, your question was the We Nation and go ahead. I'm sorry.
Why was that important to you? Talk a little bit about what it is and why it's important for you to have this resource for women who are coming back out into society.
Absolutely. So the nonprofit is Activate Your Life. The project is We Nation, right? And so with We Nation, it's programs, it's support, it's we do remakes and just education, entrepreneurship, career development to help these women who come home, not just to walk in front of your probation officer and get a list of things that you have to do and get stressed out, but show you how to have some soft skills, show you how to go after some higher education, and show you how to become a woman again. How do you become that woman who's responsible, who is now, you know, willing to be of service to the community? And so that's what We Nation is about. It's to give them the same tools, because here's the thing. There's a portion of women, you know, everybody's having these high tea brunches and, you know, major conferences, right. 4,000 telling you got to rub elbows. But what happens if you have the same mindset, but you don't have the finances to get those tools? So that's what we do with We Nation is we say, listen, I'm bringing the best of the best to the stage, and you're going to have the same experience. But guess what? It's for free. So if you're hungry, come get it, learn the network, learn how to build your business. We put the resources in the same room, because when you come home, you got to go here, go here, go here. So I bring them all in. Housing right there, kids right there, support right there, therapists over there, jobs back there, you know, and business advice, support, grants over there. And so we kind of just pull the people, the resources, and even mentors in the same room to support this community, because they need it. And while everybody's hosting these major conferences, which are great, you know, you just coming home, or you being home for 3-5 years, sometimes still not getting it together. Where are you going to learn to grow? Where can you feel like you belong? Maybe you don't have that whole bougie outfit to slap on. Right. So we tell them, listen, we give everybody a t-shirt, you know, we give everybody a t-shirt, wear some jeans, Throw your sneakers on and we'll see you in the room. And there's no judgment. And what you don't know is you're sitting next to a Fortune 500 company representative. And what you don't know is you're sitting right next to a media outlet that you know, and so everybody looks the same. Because at the end of the day, we're all women.
That's right. Oh, I love it. Is there some place to donate to We Nation that you could tell people?
Yes. There is a place. I have to double check to make sure it's good. But if they go to lucindacross.com, they'll be able to connect with me. I know we're doing some changes. The site is activateyourlife.org. But if they can email me, lucinda@activateyourlife.org, I'll send them the information on where to donate as we're in this website upgrade.
Good. Yeah, because that's important. I mean, that's like, so many people, like you said, are repeat offenders because that's the only thing I know. Like, I can't go to this big conference or this retreat that's $5,000 because I'm not there. So I'm just left dry. So it's so important for us to really, like you said, not talk the talk, but walk the walk. Because a lot of us like, I do this and I help people and I don't see it.
Yep.
I'm bringing heavy hitters in a room for free who have come to believe in my vision and support me so that I can support you. So all you got to do is show up.
And my biggest sponsor who said yes is Delta.
Wow.
They're Delta Airlines just hands down just embraced us and said, what do you need? From lunches to finances to support to training, they said yes. So who would have thought? Such a top 100 is here to support little old me here in New York City. Wow. Tell me God ain't good when you hold on to that vision. Thanks to that toothpaste that was holding them clippings together.
I ain't never heard nothing like that before in my life. You got to tear the magazine apart.
Tear it up.
And you got to use toothpaste for glue. See, I'm here with Lucinda Cross. And our talk is about resilience, which is bouncing back from the worst things in your life. And people always want to tell you, stop telling that story. Stop telling that story. I cannot stop telling something that was supposed to take me out.
Come on.
And brought me up.
Come on.
You don't know where I came from if I don't tell you. I'm not that person anymore. And that's why I could share my story. And the same with you. When people are not sharing, it's because they're still in that messy space. That's how I feel.
Yes.
You still there. You won't talk about the fact that you cheated on your husband because you probably still cheating on your husband or you have the potential to be a cheater. I don't. I'm never doing that again. So I could talk to you about that and share my experience of what infidelity and adultery did to my life at the hands of my own choices.
Ooh.
It wasn't him. It was me. Like you said, I made a choice and it landed me somewhere. But I chose different. And I always tell people, you're not your biggest mistake, you're your better choices. So I want you to talk to the women out here right now who are listening, because I speak to women and we both coach women who are in a bad space right now, who are distraught. They've lost their job. The money's not coming in. Hubby then walked out with the side chick and all this other stuff. I just wanted you to talk to them and tell them, how do you bounce back? And if it's even possible at your worst moment.
Listen, what I love about having your back in the corner, you have either a choice to crawl and fall down or stand up and come out swinging. And I know if you just have a little, and I'm talking to whoever, you lost your job, your man walks out, you're trying to figure things out. Maybe this is not the life you thought you would live, whatever the case may be, whether it's your setback or even if it's a shift. Because sometimes, I'll speak personally, sometimes I didn't even realize, I said, there's something new coming to fruition and it's not a good thing or a bad thing, but I got to understand what is the shift happening inside of me and let me not fight it, right? And so if you're going through anything like that, the one thing I say is if you have a little bit of fight left in you, a little bit of fight. And I mean, when I'm saying come out swinging, it's not a physical thing, because sometimes we come out, everything is a fight. I've been fighting all my life. No, and we've been fighting with the wrong tools.
Oh,
there's certain tools that you pick up to fight with that you don't have to even touch, stress out, lose any hairs behind. And so if you have a little fight left in you, because how many things have you been able to overcome in the past?
Wow.
Those are notches on your belt. Those are tools that you can use. So this is not your first time that you've been here. It just looks different and it's a new different date, maybe a different year. But what about the thing that you've overcame when you were 13? There's tools that you were able to gather that you're standing still today. What tools did you use at 18, 23, 35, 47? What are those tools that you use? Because we go through this over and over again, and life, we are growing, and life has no problem with doing a swift kick underneath you when you think you got it going on and you think you're moving forward. But if you got a little fight in you left, and just a swift prayer, swift staying focused, swift execution, swift being consistent, a swift, I don't care, I'm moving forward. I don't know what's next for me, but I'm just going to keep going. Sometimes we just have to be in the mindset, I don't know what's next. I'm just going to keep moving forward. And Ashcast says something that I think will bless them. Whatever it is that you need to do to make this next shift happen and get out of this space that you're in, do it ugly.
Oh,
because we want to pretty it up and wait till we have the right time and the right money and the right opportunity. We got to do it when it's ugly, in the nasty, in the storm. It's like, why are you pulling out the picnic table in the tornado? Because I'm setting the table right now. That's why. It's something outrageous and crazy that we need to do. And it goes back to some of the tools that we have, the things that made me a woman. I'm always going to come out fighting. Because there's so many times that my back is against the wall, fear of rejection, fear of doubt, putting myself down, and I don't have all the things that I desire, but I'm working towards those things. But where's your fighting tools? What weapons do you have? How did you guard yourself? How did you armor yourself up today? Did you put on your breastplate this morning, right? And sometimes we leave ourselves naked and we showing up at the fight of fear and doubt, and we like, what? And it's like, it's hitting you right in your breast, boom, and you didn't put your breastplate on. God said, put your breastplate on, put your armor on every single day. So that's it. Every day.
I'm about to go put my armor on because I might have woke up this morning without it. Let me make sure I got all my pieces.
Listen, we got to check.
Check before you walk out here in these mind streets, because a lot of stuff is mental and women are not understanding. And this is for the men too.
Yep.
I know that you lost your mom.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of women who have lost their mom, and I lost my mom a very long time ago. And that's one of the hardest things, because that is really like your biggest cheerleader and your biggest support. So for the women or the man too who has lost their biggest cheerleader, just give them a word of encouragement, because I know you share that.
Yeah, and the month of May for me is the worst month. I'll be honest. That's just how I feel. It's the worst month. My mother passed Mother's Day weekend many years ago, and today is actually the day that we were able to bury her, May 20th. So May 20th is the day that we buried her, and it is not an easy journey. Was everything to me, the greatest person in my life. But what can I do in her honor? And based on a lot of things that she didn't do and wasn't bold enough to do for herself, I'm saying yes to myself for. And so I'm seeing how even now our lives mirrored each other. And so I'm saying, all right, Mom, on your name, I'm making this change. In your name, I'm going to make this shift, because you were at this moment that you were fearful and doubt. You were doing these things because you were unsure and scared and you didn't have the support. So let me shift something different, because I also have a little girl who I'm raising, and she I need to break certain things in my pattern that I'm already seeing so that she doesn't repeat them. But if you lost your mom, just stay, people, it's easy to say, oh, stay encouraged. And, you have an angel following you. Listen, I want my mama, and that's just it. Like, I want to talk to her today, and so today's probably one of the toughest days in my whole year, every year. But God, and I said, God, forgive me. I don't know if I could talk to her, if it's against your rules, but can you just tell my mother that I love her? Can I just get a whiff of her smell, for a little bit? And so, that's how I cope. So find something that is a way that helps you to cope. with, remembering and doing something in her honor. And I do that every year. So I'm going to go out and do something in her honor today in quarantine, but in my space.
Right. I love it. Love it. This has been a rich conversation, a wealthy conversation. Because, straight, no chasers, because we don't really need that. And to see the human side of you, because I know you do like a lot of business talks.
Mm-hmm.
But your foundation makes me trust you as a human being. Because I need to see outside of all of that, like, where's she coming from? And I appreciate you, and I know you, and I know your story, but I learned some things about you today that make me feel even closer to you, to make me want to even be in your presence. So we have a final thought at the end. So what is your final thought or your final word to those who are listening right now?
Just be great. Whatever makes you great, just be great. Sometimes we just put on other people's expectations on our agenda and our program. Be great in your space, whatever that looks like. Don't allow anyone else to dictate that. Don't fall into the trap of what it should look like. You see, I got set back 4.5 years for what I thought success should look like. And so if you know that you don't have any more time to waste, and dimming your light, just show up and be great, whatever that looks like. Be a great mom, be a great daughter, be a great wife, be a great auntie, be a great neighbor. Just be great in your space. That's it, and that's all. And activate, of course.
Action behind that greatness while you're at it. So please tell everybody where they can find you and what's coming up next for you.
Ooh, I'm Googleicious, baby. So you could go put in Lucinda Cross. No, but I love to play on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram at Lucinda Cross. And you could go to my website, lucindacross.com. What I have coming up next, I'm working on a few master classes. I'm doing a couple of pilot programs, so stay tuned for that. And I'm just vibing right now. I am working on some things behind the scenes because I believe this is the great time to plan and get into execution and reach out to people. So just stay connected. Keep me in your prayers, and I keep you in, and I'll do the same for everyone who's watching as well. And also, go grab a copy of The Big Ask. It's on Amazon. Get your copy.
And are the vision board kits still available?
Yes, so we do have a limited amount available on Amazon.com as well. So they can put Activate Your Vision by Lucinda Cross. They'll see the vision board kits or The Big Ask by Lucinda Cross, and they can grab a copy of the book, and we'll be activating together.
Thank you so much, Lucinda, for your time and your talent, and just for being an authentic woman with a high level of integrity. Thank you for never changing on me, no matter what platform you're on, whether it's 5,000 people in a room or 100 people in a room. You always acknowledge my presence, and I appreciate that, because I know when it's 5,000 people, there's 4,999 that want their time with you, but you have always made it your business to come if I didn't see you, to make sure you saw me.
Wow.
And it matters to me.
Come on, you about to make me cry.
Don't cry. And that's a lot of people, because people invite you to things just to put butts in seats, and you've never made me feel like a butt in a seat. You've always made me feel like you wanted me there because my presence was important, and that's so important too. I'm about to cry myself.
I'm about to cry for real. This is like, wow.
I've been invited to birthday parties and or events, and I've forced myself to go only to not be acknowledged in the room. And I'm like, I could have stayed home with my children.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I always show up for you, unless the little one acting crazy and then I can't come. But I always send you a message, to say, I'm sorry I can't come because you always acknowledge people.
And I still don't take that answer. I'll be like, you sure? You sure you can't come? Up to the last, you sure you can't make it?
Because like I said, I try to teach women too, don't show up to everything, because everything is not for you. Show up in the rooms where the people acknowledge you. Like, I don't care if it's 5,000 or 4 people, like I said. If somebody invited you somewhere, you should be an important factor in that moment, and you shouldn't have to go looking for them. And not that it's reciprocity, because I be looking for you and you be looking for me and Robin, you know, because y'all, what? Hey, no, why you back there?
Yeah.
Back there, because when you're a humble queen, you back because you're in the room. It doesn't matter to you that you're in the front row, but you say, girl, if you don't come up here where you're supposed to be, I'm gonna slap you. This is one of my real life sister friends. From the day I ever met her, she has made me feel important in her life. So I show up for her, and I want women to understand you don't have to show up for everything and everybody, because everybody's not going to show up for you. And always take a lesson from Lucinda about integrity, authenticity, is that you make people feel important where you bring them, or just don't invite them. That's all I'm saying. So Lucinda, again, I thank you, and I pray that God blesses you beyond anything you could think or imagine. I pray that you live in the overflow, not what's in the cup, but what's on the plate.
Come on, yes.
And tell your family I said hello, because I love them too. Give your daughter and continue to be who you are, because you are special in this world, and you deserve the love and greatness that's coming to you and all the opportunities that come your way. So you guys remember what I tell you at the end of all my broadcasts. You deserve the best. Yes, I'm talking to you. You deserve the best. Now go get it. I love you, Lucinda. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Love you too.